Hi, friends. Happy Flavor Friday. Today, we are talking about the hidden cost of decision fatigue. Raise your hand. Who experiences decision fatigue around the kitchen, around cooking, around feeding yourself, your family, those in your circle? Most of us think we need more recipes. I, however, think many of us need fewer decisions. Did you know that it is upwards of 200 decisions a day that are food related that you make just for yourself? Can you and so when you have others in your care, that is even more amplified, right? So for those of you who are new, I am Rebecca Connolly. I am a personal chef, food coach, and cookbook author. And welcome. And I'm here today to talk to you about how to reduce that decision fatigue that we all experience around 5 p.m. dinner time, right? So, especially true around 5 p.m. when everyone is just tired, hungry, overstimulated, trying to figure out what dinner is supposed to be if you haven't been able to plan that time into your week, right? So, dinner often ends up feeling heavier than it should because it's not a single decision, right? It's not a single decision. Say hello, drop where you are tuning in from down below. I would love to know. And let me know, do you experience decision fatigue around dinner, around the kitchen? Not just dinner, breakfast, lunch, snacks, anything in between. So, dinner at 5 p.m. or later is actually a whole chain of decisions, right? And here's maybe how it goes, mostly how it goes. Let me know. What do we have? What needs to be used? What will everyone eat? Do we have enough protein? Is this meal balanced? Right? High fiber and good fats. How long will it take? Do I need to stop at the store? Can this become leftovers? Will anyone complain? Do I even have the energy for this? That's a lot to carry at the end of the day. And that's one of the reasons why I talk so much and care so much about kitchen confidence, meal rhythms, and what I have termed the flavor first approach. Because most people, most of us, don't need a completely new life at dinner time. What we need is a little more structure, a little more clarity, and certainly fewer decisions standing in between us and feeding ourselves and our people well, right? So drop down below. Yes, no, is this resonating with you? All right, so the first thing that I want to talk about is it, other than the decision fatigue, why does dinner feel heavier than it should? We're like, oh, we have to plan for dinner. Oh, for the rest of my life, planning dinner. Okay. One of the things that I've learned in the past almost 20 years as a professional personal chef is that people rarely hire help with food because food itself is the only issue. Food is very personal. It's also very emotional, very practical. Food touches our health, our schedules, our preferences, our budgets, our energy, our family rhythms, and our mental load. So when I started my professional personal chef service, Rebecca's Feast, nearly 20 years ago, I thought I was simply building a meal service. I remember standing very clearly in my own kitchen when my son was just months old in one of those baby Bjorns, right? And I was trying to make dinner. And I thought to myself, oh my Lord, how am I going to chop onion and garlic and rock this baby and get dinner done and right? And so and that became a longer chain of thoughts because a good friend of mine had mentioned to me a couple of years earlier when I was doing some stage work at some fine dining restaurants in Boston. She had mentioned, well, what about personal chef service? This is becoming a thing in the industry. So as I was standing there in my kitchen trying to figure out how to chop onion and garlic and make dinner, rocking my baby, I thought to myself, I cannot really be the only mom who is experiencing this kind of just practical frustration, right? Because ordering out and picking up and all of that is just not a sustainable plan, right? You've got to make some meals out of the week at home. So I thought I was building a meal service at the beginning. I thought people were hiring me because they wanted meals in the refrigerator. And yes, they certainly did. But over time, I realized what they were really hiring is relief. relief from the question, what's for dinner? Relief from the decision fatigue, relief from having to think about food again and again and again, relief from wanting to eat well, but not having enough time, energy, or bandwidth to make all the decisions that are required. And that was a huge mental shift for me when it came to approaching my business. I thought I was simply cooking. What I was actually doing was helping people breathe easier at 5 p.m., at dinner time, and not just at dinner time, right? Around the entire week. A personal chef can save a weekly client a good 10 to 15 hours when it comes to shopping, planning, shopping, cooking, prepping, cleaning up, packaging, serving, cleaning up. Okay. So, repeated decision making is what is draining us. Decision fatigue matters because every meal requires more than we often want to admit. Even something simple like chicken can become a dozen different decisions, right? Do I bake it, grill it, saute it, shred it, put it in the slow cooker? What flavor direction should I take? Mediterranean, Mexican, Italian, Thai, Southern, Indian inspired? I mean, especially now with social media and all of the food blogs and recipe collections and magazines online. I mean, you could be stuck in the planning stages for and never get to the kitchen, right? And then we have to ask, well, what's going with that chicken? What vegetable? What starch? What sauce? Is it going to reheat well? Do I want leftovers? Am I going to want to eat it tomorrow for lunch, for dinner? And for someone who cooks often, those decisions may happen very quickly. You may not even notice that you're making those decisions, but they are still decisions. And for someone who is tired or overwhelmed, those decisions can definitely become the thing that pushes dinner over the edge. This is often why I say that cooking confidence is not just about knowing recipes. Confidence is learning to trust your judgment in real life. Trusting your judgment when the schedule changes, when the ingredients change, when the people at your table need something different than you expected, when you have to make dinner work with what you have. That's the kind of confidence that creates relief. Relief not only in your own mind and in your own life, but as a personal chef, relief in my clients' lives. So, this is also where I want to connect today's conversation to something that we've been talking about for a while. The skills that feel ordinary to you may be the exact skills someone else deeply values. If you're a skilled cook, you may not notice how much you already do these things automatically. You look in the refrigerator or the pantry and the fridge or the freezer, and you see the possibilities. You know what needs to be used first. You know how to make a meal stretch. You know how to adjust a recipe. You know when something tastes flat. You know when it needs salt, acid, texture, freshness, or more time. You know how to organize a meal so everything lands on the table together. Those are not small things. Those are not small skills. Planning is a skill. Flavor building is a skill. Organization is a skill. Adaptability is a skill. Reducing decision fatigue is a skill. And in a home kitchen, those skills create peace. That is one reason why personal chef work can be so meaningful. Personal chefs are not just only making food, they are reducing the number of decisions a family has to make during an already overwhelmed and busy week. So, what exactly helps reduce dinner decision fatigue? It's not perfection, and it's not a brand new recipe every night. And it's certainly not a complicated meal plan that only works if the week goes exactly as expected. Simple systems help, and here are some suggestions that you can implement right away. For next week, for this weekend even, choose a few anchor meals. These are the meals your household already knows and enjoys. Repeat meals are not a failure, they are decision relief. You can also pick a flavor direction before you pick a recipe. This is my number one suggestion, right? So instead of asking, what should I make with chicken? Ask, what kind of taste and flavor am I looking for? Am I looking for Mediterranean-ish, Mexican-ish, Italian flavors, Thai flavors, Southern comfort? Flavor gives the meal direction. And then you pick what goes in, what matches, or how you're going to implement those flavors, right? So you keep the formula flexible. Protein plus produce plus something satisfying plus flavor. That simple structure can become dozens of meals. Plan for real life. Some nights need cook from scratch meals. Some nights need leftovers. Some nights need a freezer option. Some nights need breakfast or sandwiches or eggs or just a snack plate. That still counts as feeding people. Reduce the number of decisions that you have to make around dinner time at 5 p.m. The more you can decide before you are tired, the easier dinner becomes. And that could mean pulling meat from the freezer in the morning, or it could mean choosing 3 dinner options for the week, prepping a sauce, washing lettuce, cooking extra protein, writing the plan where you can actually see it. These small systems create freedom, not because they remove every challenge, but because they lower the number of decisions required when your energy is already low. So, because this is Flavor Friday, I want to say this clearly. Flavor helps reduce decision fatigue too. When you understand flavor, you do not need a new recipe for every meal. You can take the same basic ingredients and move them in different directions. So, for example, common combination chicken, rice, and veggies, right? This can become Mediterranean with lemon, oregano, cucumber, olives, and feta. And red onion. Always got to have my red onion in there. You can go Mexican inspired with cumin, chili powder, lime, salsa, avocado. You can also use feta cheese here, cotija cheese. I love chopped radishes and chopped onion for garnish. Or you can go Thai inspired. How about with coconut milk, curry paste, lime, basil, whatever veggies you have on hand? Or you could go even just Italian, garlic, tomatoes, basil, parmesan, roasted vegetables. That's the power of flavor first. It gives you a way to think. It helps you make decisions faster. It helps you use what you have. It helps meals feel less boring without making dinner more complicated. Flavor isn't extra, flavor is part of what makes a dinner rhythm sustainable. So here's the question I want you to think about for today. Where exactly does dinner create the most decision fatigue for you? Is it deciding what to cook? Is it remembering to thaw something? Knowing what flavors go together? Trying to please everyone? Or trying to meet everyone's nutrition needs? Getting enough protein, using what you bought, making leftovers feel appealing? Once you know where the friction is, you can create a simple system around that one place. So you don't have to fix everything. Start with one repeated decision and make it easier. Maybe this week you choose 3 anchor meals. Maybe you pick one flavor direction. Maybe you write down the meals before Monday arrives. Maybe you prep one protein. Maybe you decide that Wednesday is always leftover night or takeout night. Small decisions made ahead create more peace later. So, if dinner feels heavier than it should, it may not be because you're bad at cooking. It may be because you're carrying too many decisions at the end of the day. And if you are someone who naturally helps reduce that mental load for others, please do not dismiss that skill. Being able to plan, adapt, organize, build flavor, and make dinner feel easier is incredibly valuable. In your own home, those skills create peace. For someone else, those skills may create tremendous relief. And for some skilled cooks, those same ordinary feeling skills can even become the foundation of meaningful personal chef work. So, here's your Flavor First group challenge for this week. Notice one dinner decision you can make ahead of time. Notice one kitchen skill you use so naturally that you almost overlook it. Share it in the group if you'd like. I would love to hear what you notice. Or message me. I'm always happy to chat. And if you've ever wondered whether your kitchen skills could become something more meaningful, such as the foundation of personal chef work, comment, call, and I'll send me a message and let's hop on a kitchen to income call. I would love to chat with you. Remember, flavor is how we savor both at the table and in life. Remember, keep it simple. See you next week.